Redistricting, the political chess game heating up beyond Texas. Hold on to your seats. America's battle for congressional control is entering a new, even more contentious phase. If you think the intense redistricting fight that began in Texas was the main event, think again. The Republican Party is now aggressively pushing to redraw district maps in multiple states, sparking fears, hopes, and controversy wherever the new boundaries may fall. But here's where it gets controversial. The effort is not just about Texas anymore. After Republicans in the Lone Star State swiftly approved a new congressional map, spurred on by direct involvement from President Trump, the GOP is setting its sights on states like Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and Ohio. This strategy marks a pivotal expansion of the nationwide redistricting battle. According to GOP strategist Greg Keller from Missouri, Democrats have limited options left to counter these moves. He notes, "Are we supposed to just stand down as a party while this is happening?" The implication, Republicans intend to fight back relentlessly, refusing to cede control. Redistricting in Texas ignited national discussion, particularly after Trump urged Governor Greg Abbott to call an unusual special legislative session for mid-decade map changes. With the new Texas map favoring Republicans, experts see up to 5 congressional seats potentially shifting in their favor, boosting the party's chances to retain control of the House of Representatives. And this is the part most people miss. If California voters approve a proposal allowing their legislature to redraw maps, Democrats could snatch up to 5 new seats themselves. States with fewer seats in play, like Missouri or Indiana, might seem less important. But in a razor-thin House, every single seat could tip the balance. Florida stands out as another state with significant pickup potential. Republican strategist Ford O'Connell explains that Governor Ron DeSantis initially sought to secure more seats during earlier redistricting rounds, but hit legal roadblocks. Now, a Florida Supreme Court decision upholding the current map, paired with encouragement from Trump, could empower DeSantis to push for up to 5 GOP gains, possibly targeting well-known Democratic incumbents like Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Jared Moskowitz. O'Connell emphasizes that the back and forth isn't new, referencing Democratic redistricting strategies in places like Illinois and Massachusetts. California's Governor Newsom calls for Democrats to fight fire with fire. Republicans are simply answering previous challenges. DeSantis has consistently supported mid-decade redistricting, and a formal redistricting committee is on the horizon. O'Connell adds, Governor DeSantis wanted broader changes in 2020, but political realities held him back. Now, with a favorable court ruling, he's likely to pursue what he couldn't before. Meanwhile, Ohio is entering the fray from a different angle. State law requires a fresh round of redistricting before the midterms, since the previous map lacked a supermajority. GOP strategist Mark Weaver sees an opportunity for the party to flip 2 or 3 Democratic-held seats, potentially putting longtime Representative Marcy Kaptur and newcomer Emilia Sykes at risk. Weaver notes, even shifting just a few seats can determine which party wins the House, especially when the margin is so slim. And this is where tempers flare. Trump's team is actively encouraging Republican governors nationwide to follow Texas's lead. One White House source claims, when Obama and former AG Eric Holder quietly fund gerrymandering efforts, Trump goes public, making his intentions clear. They add, if you want the America First agenda, redistricting is key. And yes, it's legal. Not all Republicans are marching in lockstep. Indiana's GOP has seen dissent, with some state lawmakers resisting early redistricting. The current congressional split favors Republicans 7-2, and there's talk of adding 1 more seat. High-level meetings in D.C. involving Indiana lawmakers are set, with redistricting likely on the agenda, even if not explicitly mentioned. The stakes are high. Allies of Trump have hinted at supporting primary challengers against Republicans who refuse to support the new maps. Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA boldly stated online, "We'll back primary opponents for Indiana legislators who won't get on board." Republicans remain optimistic. Greg Keller recalls that Missouri redistricting chatter was minimal until Trump became personally involved, urging Governor Mike Kehom to act. The upcoming legislative veto session could center on pushing a new map, potentially challenging Representative Emanuel Cleaver and shrinking Democratic representation to a single member in the state. Here's the twist. Missouri's legislative caucus isn't as hardline conservative as the state's electoral base, but Trump's involvement seems to have galvanized even the moderates. Reports suggest the White House and Republican National Committee are working hand in hand to draw new maps. There are already signs of lawmakers shifting their positions under pressure. Indiana's Representative Craig Haggard reversed his skepticism publicly after a few days. Don't forget, some Republicans are even willing to accept less safe districts for themselves if it means the party picks up new seats overall. One insider notes, there may be private concerns, but ultimately, everyone understands the mission. With the stakes so high and strategies so aggressive, it's easy to see why this battle is stirring passionate debate from coast to coast. Question for you. Do you think these redistricting battles reflect fair political strategy, or do they undermine the democratic process? And do you agree with the parties making aggressive moves to redraw maps in their favor, even if it means threatening fellow party members? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. This conversation is far from over.